What is love? Understanding relationships. What is love? Our world is in danger of losing it if we do not understand what love is. I foresee that if we do not know what love is, many marriages will break, many relationships will not even exist, many businesses will never grow to be big enough, many ministries, many leaders will not be able to rise because of this mistake of feelings. Love is a word that is used greatly in our world today and in our society. We attach it to our affection, affinity for things. You hear people say, I love you, I love my car, I love my boss, I love my wife, I love my husband, I love my children, I love Jesus, I love koinonia. Is that true? And so it's a word, it's not a word that is new or strange, even foreign. Even little children will tell you they have an idea. We have always associated love with something that is positive. But I just want to help us, because knowing this will turn every aspect of our lives around. It's a word that in many respects is carelessly used. Many people do not understand the gravity of what they are saying. I love you, or I love your shirt, I love this phone, I love this book, I love Jesus Christ, I love my wife, my husband, I love my father. And for many of us, and I think largely our society, societally speaking, we are victims of this. Every time we mention the word love, usually the scope of our understanding, please listen, the scope of our understanding is hinged around the emotions or attachment. We use the word love from a layman's perspective. Many people just use it to explain the goodness, the positive attachment, is that true, that they have towards a person or towards a thing. So for many people, the scope of love is just emotions, or a word we have invented to explain it, feelings. So when you feel good about a thing or a person and you are asked to articulate what is happening to you, you say, I love that thing, I love this flower. Why? You say, because it is beautiful, the design made it pleasant to my eyes, and then I have a positive affinity towards it, and I call it love. But you see, I want to share with us a number of things that will help us. Ready? Number one, true love is not emotions. True love is not emotions. It's not feelings. Now, don't get me wrong. There is an emotional component when you are talking about love. There has to be an emotional component, but love is not emotion. If the entire scope of your definition of love for a person or for a thing is just an attempt to express the emotional affinity towards that thing, then you are very limited. Please listen. There is a lot of trouble in marriages, in relationships, in carnality, attachment to things, because of this one definition: feelings. The word feeling is a psychological word. It's a word that was invented to explain your psychological disposition at a given time. It's called feelings, an expression of your psychological disposition. So if I am not feeling all right because of for instance, a stomach upset, you ask me what's wrong, and I tell you I'm feeling sick. Is that true? If someone annoys me and I am not happy, you ask me what's wrong with you, I say I'm feeling bad. So the word feeling is a word that attempts to describe your psychological disposition at a given time. Is God helping us tonight? Please make sure you are listening everywhere, online, outside, because one of the biggest unbecomings of people is their vulnerability to feelings. For when you become a victim of feelings, both your relationship with God and your relationship with life will be shattered. Because you see, feelings, listen, love is not a feeling. Love is not emotion. Love can and should create feelings. True love should create feelings. Don't get me wrong. True love should create emotions. We'll discuss that later. Without emotions and without feelings, you cannot be committed towards a person or a project. I preach and we run this ministry and do what God is doing because much more than an instruction from God, I'm emotionally connected to what I'm doing, and therein lies my passion for the work I'm doing. Without feeling, without emotion, there is no basis for being passionate. But love is not feeling. Are we together? Love can create feelings, but it's not feelings. We know from life and biology that feelings can be products of chemical reactions, hormones. Feelings can be products of whatever it is, all kinds of physiological things that happen within a human being. That is the reason why love that is based on feelings should not be trusted. Is that true? When you build your love life based on emotions and feelings, you will never be able to sustain. That's why many people do not have the strength to push a business idea to the end. They say they love it because the idea reflected a positive emotion to them. Is that true? And so they believe that they love the idea. But then when another idea came to them higher and better than that one, all of a sudden their loyalty to that idea went. And it is easier for it to be a thing. It is terrible when it becomes a person. Is that true? We live in a world where our definitions of love are based on feelings. So when you feel good about a person, you say, I love that person. And for many of us, now I say this with honor, we have watched films, we have been exposed to books, and we have even been mentored by personalities who have been so inclined to emotions, and the entire scope of their definition of love is that it must always give you a feeling, a positive feeling. And if for any reason the feeling is not positive, then it is not love. That is not an accurate teaching. Building anything on just feelings and emotion is a guarantee for failure and frustration. Please hear what I'm saying. Building anything at all just based on feelings and emotion is a guarantee for failure and frustration. When you build a business on feeling, when you build a relationship on feeling, when you build marriage on feeling, when you build your walk with God on feeling, when you build your spiritual growth process on feeling, that's what makes a lot of believers start feeling bad. I used to feel the presence of God in a way. When I'm about to climb the stage, I feel that thing. When I feel it, I know God is there. And right now I'm about to pray for sick people and I don't seem to feel it. And they believe God is not there with me because we have been trained. We don't ignore feelings, but feeling is not love. Feeling has brought a lot of people into trouble. There are marriages that are in trouble today because of the mistake of feeling. Listen carefully. There are relationships today that are in shambles because of feeling. There are businesses, there are careers, there are people today who are in geographic regions that they should never be. Ask them what happened. They say, I felt so. There are people who should never be close to certain personalities. There are people who should never be involved in certain businesses. is like an emotional rampage. Feelings, they drive us up and down, and so we begin to vacillate based on whatever disposition we have at the moment. When a revelation sounds good to you, this is wonderful, and then you love the revelation, so you say. Then the day you understand the gravity of that revelation and it does not go well with you, you throw it away. Love is not feeling.